to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Will beside me, Dave bottom left, Ryan bottom right, and we are ready to break down some Saturday sports. We have a ton of games in the NHL. There's college basketball, college football, NBA, tons of sports today. We will switch things up a little bit, and we will start with other picks in the college. We'll start with college first, just because I know there are games starting 2 minutes ago. And the only play I have today, my favorite play of the day, is TCU -2 or -2.5. And that is the only play that I made for today. Actually, you can get them now on the money line for -115. So that's kind of a little bit scary there. But I like TCU. They just seem like the clearly better team. And they've had history, success against Baylor. 6 of the last 7 they've won as well. So I went with TCU -2. Will, any college picks for you today?
I don't have any. I'll have my NBA model out later tonight, but no college.
Awesome. Dave, any? I know that you have college picks for sure. What do you like?
I to be completely honest, on college basketball, which stinks, I slacked. We had a longer show last night than usual, and things just got busy. But I do have some college football, and one of them is my dog of the day is Baylor, which is playing TCU. It's more out of being selfish because if TCU loses, USC has more of a hope to, a path to the playoffs. But it's going to be a good game. That's more out of hope, and actually, that's more out of me needing to pick a dog instead of picking the Blackhawks, which are, +3 whatever they are. So that's the choice for the pick today. I chose Baylor. The 2 other plays I like the most. One is, again, with the crappy teams, UMass is playing Texas A&M. And they were at 34. It's at 32.5. I think now that's the points they're getting. And they're really bad. And everyone knows that I've been on UMass and the unders. The thing is when I saw Texas A&M, who's had a horrible year, as a 32.5 point favorite, when all they've ever scored, the most points they've scored this year is 31 against Sam Houston State, which I think is a worse team than UMass. I think they can keep it close. Also, Texas A&M is bad versus the run, and that's all UMass can do is run the ball. So I like them getting 32.5 points. And then the game of the day in all sports is USC Trojans. I have them on the money line at -120. The line's coming down. But the thing with that game is I have them as, besides being a fanboy and alum, I have them as a 5.5 point favorite on a neutral site. People don't realize this. It's at UCLA, but UCLA plays in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, which is twice as far from UCLA than SC. SC at football in LA, it's a SC town. It's not a UCLA town, UCLA for basketball. So this will actually probably be a home game at UCLA Stadium for USC. So a lot of high-powered expected offenses, 2 really good teams, 2 kind of defenses that don't play well. So exciting game, but I like the Trojans to win outright.
All right. So that's your only dog is Baylor?
Because it's either Baylor or for the dog of the day, it's either Baylor or here's the deal. It's your show. So do you want me to go for the gutso and do the big plus money play? Or do you want me to be safe and we're pitted against each other? I like that more. That sounds more fun to me.
I want you to cash, which is most important,
Baylor,
especially if you're putting a hockey play in. But it started like now. So by the time we get to best bet segment.
Okay, then I'll come up with another one. No. We'll come up with another one. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I'd prefer not. Because
I thought you were just doing that because you didn't want to give you bad mojo. So.
Well, I obviously would not like you to put a pick that's against me, but that's not in my control. Nick does it all the time. But
no,
I would rather the play be when after like the show. So people watching can bet it. But Ryan, other picks in college, basketball, football, anything you like today?
Just basketball. It's actually not a very good slate of basketball today, unless you like Ryder versus Central Arkansas in Ireland. So the one play I do like is the Seattle Redhawks on the money line. They're getting 3 points on the road against the Portland Pilots. So it's WAC versus WCC. Seattle is basically getting their whole team back from last year, and this is the team that won the WAC. The WCC is probably a better conference, but I think the market may be off here, and I'm going to take a shot on the Seattle Redhawks at plus 135 as a dog.
All right. Moving on to NBA picks. Wow. You think when your team's down by 16, you think, oh, there's no way they could possibly win by 6. But the Indiana Pacers decided to win for me yesterday, coming back from being down, I think 16 at the most. So I won both my NBA plays yesterday. Today, I'm not sure about this slate. If I was to bet anything, I know it's crazy, but I'd be going right back to the Indiana Pacers again. They've been winning for me. So, but they are home favorites -6 on a back-to-back. And that's the only thing that kind of scares me is that they're on the back-to-back. So ultimately, I'm not pulling the trigger on it. But I think they beat Orlando at home. So my only bet that I'd be looking at is Indiana minus. I think you can get 5.5 now. But ultimately, no plays for me in the NBA today. Will, any NBA today that you like?
I'm just running my numbers right now. It looks like my biggest edge would be that Indiana game, but I only have it projected at a 3-point line. So I normally play when I have a 5-point difference. So I don't know if I would play, especially on a back-to-back. So I'm probably going to stay off NBA today.
All right. Indiana faces Orlando again right after this. So I may go back to them in the second game. Even if they win the first one. The Pacers are winning for me right now, so I like them. Dave, NBA picks? Anything?
Also, I think Orlando has some key players out, but double check.
They have it. They have key players. they're so bad that they have key players. That's an interesting play. All right, Dave, NBA picks for today.
There's only 4 games, so there's so much more going on a Saturday. There's hundreds of college games and a bunch of NHL games, which now I'm an NHL better and capper, so I got to do that too. I pick my spots in the NBA, especially early in the season. I don't have one. There's no angle. I have a couple systems that I use. Nothing I can see fits into that. Home team way favorites is one of them. Certain totals. The only one that interests me is I'm waiting for the Jazz to fall off the cliff. They're not this good. I mean, they're a run, but I mean, I'm trying to figure out an NHL team to liken them to. They lost everyone. They lost all their important players. They're playing so far over expectation. It's silly. But
Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago Blackhawks. Not even that, because this team's playing better than the Blackhawks are playing. It's more like the Flyers were playing when they started out. That's kind of what I'd liken them to. But the Flyers probably have more studs. This Jazz team has no one. So we'll see. But no bet. But gun to my head, I'd probably take the Trailblazers at home, lay the points.
All right. Ryan, anything for you in NBA today before we get to hockey?
No NBA plays for me.
All right. BetStamp, use code WILD in the referral code section. Make sure to do your line shopping. Find the best odds for whatever you are betting. Most people do, like when you go to buy something at a store, you try to get the best price, right? So it's the same thing with betting. Find the best odds for whatever you are betting on. We'll jump into the first game of the hockey slate, starting in about 40 minutes here. The New Jersey Devils and the Ottawa Senators. You can get New Jersey -144 to -150. Ottawa +122 to +130. 6.5s right across the board in this one. And for me, I might sound a little bit like a broken record, but I'm backing this Devils team. They have not shown me one reason not to back them. They continue to win and win and win and win and win. So I don't see a reason to jump off them here. Yes, they did beat the Senators a few games ago. Yes, they've struggled in Ottawa. Ottawa 5-0-3 in the last 8 at home against New Jersey. But New Jersey struggled with Toronto. They beat them. They struggled with Calgary. They beat them twice. So this Devils team, when it comes to past history, I love my past history stats, but this Devils team is showing that they don't really matter with them specifically. The Devils are continuing to win games. 6 of the last 7 meetings in Ottawa went over 6.5. So we usually see higher scoring games, and 5 of the last 6 went to overtime. So we're seeing a ton of high scoring games between these two in Ottawa that tend to go to overtime, and the Senators have had most of the success in those times. But for me, I bet Devils money line minus 125 yesterday. Obviously now it's minus 145, so that's a big movement. But I was waiting for that game to open at books that I had access to, and I bet it right away because it was just a great price. Now that it's at this price at minus 144, my suggestion would be to parlay the money line with something else. If you really don't like parlays, keep it to a 2-teamer. I have a 3-teamer that I'll give out later on that does include the Devils. But I'd be a little bit careful taking in regulation or the puck line with the Devils, just because these games have tended to go to overtime between these two teams, and the Devils have been going overtime during their win streak. So for me, Devils money line, you have to find a way to play it at this price. So I would parlay it with another money line on the slate. Will, Devils, Senators, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I slept through the open of minus 120 yesterday on FanDuel, and I was kind of annoyed. So I actually split up my bet, half at minus 130 and half on the 3-way regulation line at plus 120. I have this predicted about a 2-goal difference, and the Devils are just playing much better than the Ottawa Senators right now. And, I think the market is underestimating their ability. I have this line fair value around minus 215. So I don't really play minus 150 lines in the NHL. So I would recommend the 3-way regulation line. I think the Devils get this one done.
All right. Isaac says brunch equals Sens. Guessing they've had success with early brunch games, but we'll see. Dave, Devils, Senators, what do you think here?
He's just saying that because everything you say is the opposite. He said Baylor will win too, so that's just what he does. But God bless him. No, I have no opinion in this game. Devils equal good, Senators equal bad, line equals suck. You have to take them on the puck line and regulation. There's a lot of other sports to bet than this game, but gun to my head, try to find a way to bet the Devils, probably in reg, but no bet for me.
All right. Ryan, Devils, Senators, what do you think here?
Yeah, I've missed the train on this Devils team. I thought that they were going to lose against Toronto. I thought that the Maple Leafs would end that streak. I'm glad I stayed off that game. I don't really have a thought on this one. I see that Artem Zub is coming back for the Senators, so he could provide a lift. And I don't really like this Senators team. I think they're kind of fool's gold. It's like, you got Brinkett, Stützle, and Giroux, and it looks like a really good team, but they're not. So I lean Devils. I think there may be goals here, but I'm staying off this game.
Yeah, everyone was so high in the Senators team in the offseason. I've said it a million times, so I won't go into it again, but they need defense. Go and get Jacob Chychrun. I can't never pronounce his name. Chychrun from the Coyotes. Go and get a defenseman. You need a defenseman that can stop the puck, that can help stop the puck. That's what the Senators need most. Going on to the second game with the Calgary Flames and the Florida Panthers here, you can get Calgary plus 105 to plus 118. Florida minus 125 to minus 135. 6s and 6.5s in this game. I will check goaltenders. For me, with the Florida Panthers, I want to see Spencer Knight. I don't want to. He's unconfirmed right now, but it did have Bobrovsky there earlier, so we'll have to see what happens there when it comes to his side. I'd much rather back Florida with Spencer Knight. If he is confirmed, most likely I will take, if I can still get minus 125 for Florida, I'll take them on the money line. If not, I'll go within regulation. This Flames team is a disappointment this year, but my favorite bet in this game is Matthew Tkachuk over 1.5 points for plus 170. Not only does he have double-digit points in his last 2 games, but he was traded from the Flames to Florida. Obviously, Tkachuk wanted out. He wasn't going to sign with them long term. And then they traded him to Florida here. But I think he's motivated in this one. I think he wants to show up the Panthers. And I think we see multiple points from Tkachuk. So Tkachuk over 1.5 points at plus 170. Tentatively right now, that's my best bet of the day. We'll see if I change my mind by the end of the show. But I love Tkachuk over 1.5 points here. Will, Flames and Panthers, what do you think on this one?
If anything, I have a slight edge on the Panthers. I would like to see the price come down a little bit, maybe wait and see if we do get Bob in net and then play the Panthers. But I have the projection around 6.4 goals, which is right on the over-under. And, yeah, I would lean towards the Panthers' money line, if anything.
All right. So Tkachuk to score 2 goals or hat trick? No, over 1.5 points. Meaning he can get a goal and an assist, which I think he did his last game. Or he can get 2 assists or 2 goals, whatever. He just has to get 2 points, which is plus 170. Dave, Flames and Panthers?
So if Bobrovsky is in goal, do the odds get better or worse for the Panthers? That's so Dave's learning. Bobrovsky is their starter, but Spencer Knight has played better this year. So that's what his save percentage is a little bit better. And we talked about this. The reason why they're playing Bobo is because of money, and a lot of sports, that makes sense. But I'd lean the Panthers, but I think the best bet in this game is the total Tkachuk over half a punk ass bitch move, some cheap shot or something, because I'm still not over him trying to poke the goalie. What's his face? Quick in the eye. So fuck that guy.
Yeah, there is players in the NHL that do dirty things.
There are cheap shots, and then there are ultimate cheap. When a goalie's on his back and everyone's on top of him, and you try to stick a stick in his eye and injure him, I hope someone checks him and goo runs out of his nose.
All right. We do have our Brendan Lemieux who has bit somebody, and we also
Don't like that either.
And Brad Marchand has licked a player. So there's lots of
that's just funny. Licking people is funny. Biting them is different.
Yeah, let's just say there's some weird things that have happened in NHL.
Yeah.
Basically, there are some players that do some weird things. But Ryan, Flames and Panthers, what do you think here?
No play for me. I don't like backing either team. I watched the Panthers beat the Capitals earlier in the week, and I don't think they looked very good. I thought they got outplayed. So I don't particularly want to back the Flames. They're kind of skidding, and I don't want to back the Panthers, so I'm staying off.
Sorry.
Ice-X is obviously a Boston fan. Marchand plays for Boston, so Marchand is a god.
I wasn't laughing at you, Ryan. I was laughing at Ice-X just fading everyone on the show all the time.
That's what he does. But AJS said spit on someone.
Not a big deal.
He may have spit on someone too. But we'll move on to the next one here. The Red Wings and the Columbus Blue Jackets can get Detroit minus 130 to minus 150 on the road. Columbus plus 110 to plus 120 at home. 6.5s right across the board in this one. Columbus, despite losing Line and losing Werenski for the year, have been able to stay in games and win games lately, which is a bit surprising. I kind of thought this team would kind of fall off the map because of how they've been playing all year long, but they've been a little bit feisty their last few games. But the main thing here for me, I'm just trying. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams went over 6.5. Columbus has gone over 6.5 in 12 of their 16 games. They played 16 games. 12 have gone over 6.5. Detroit has gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 4 games. I think you know where I'm going with this one. I'm taking the over 6.5, which I got, I believe, for minus 110. You can find it for minus 110 to minus 120 now. I like goals in this one. I don't see why this game would go under. So I like the over 6.5 here. Will, Red Wings, Blue Jackets, what do you think here?
I honestly think the money line is just about perfect for this matchup. But the Columbus Blue Jackets have been playing better the last 10 games. One thing that's gone with that, though, is the goals have been coming more. So I would agree with Terry's cap. I don't think I'm going to play it, but the last 10 games for these two teams, I have about 7.25 projected goals. And if you count all games, it's 6.3. So the last 10 games, these teams have been scoring a lot more. So something to look out for.
All right. Yeah, I got minus 112 for the over on this one. Dave, Red Wings, Blue Jackets. What do you think here?
I don't have an opinion. The Blue Jackets, all the Blue Jackets did. I'm going to maybe try to, even though they're bad, I'm going to try to find ways to bet against them because they ruined like my favorite Flyers bet of the year. And then the thing about the work boots, everyone seemed like it's kind of hit or miss with Detroit. And like I said, I'm capping the capper, and it seems like every time anyone smarts on the Red Wings, they lose. So they might be a fade team too, but not two teams that I haven't focused on. So I have no opinion in general, except for the question that will always be there: what is a Red Wing?
All right. Tim says Sabres to not lose 8 in a row. And AJ has said Sabres and their long losing streaks again. Unbelievable. We will get to that game in the goalie pull segment at the end of the show here. Yes, it's not one of the highlighted games. I'm sorry, Will. But we'll definitely get to it. One of the games that are highlighted and will be my last time betting on them for a while going forward. We have the Carolina Hurricanes and the Minnesota Wild here in this one. Let me bring up the odds. Here you can currently find Carolina minus 120 to minus 133. Minnesota plus 100 to plus 114. Sixes. I do see 6.5 available in this one. Yes, so my last time betting the Wild for a while going forward, unless, of course, they start stringing multiple wins together. The reason I'm doing this is they have had a lot of success against Carolina in the past. I don't like the way the Wild are playing right now. So I'm not recommending anybody else to, but I think the Wild get the job done on my birthday and win for me. I think in previous years on my birthday they've won, if I can remember. So I think they get the job done for me, but obviously I'm not going to recommend people to bet them because of that. 6-0-2 in the last 8 at home against Carolina. 7 of the last 10 meetings in Minnesota went over 6.5. So these two teams do tend to score a lot. I remember that one game, I think it was 2016 or something like that. It was 4-3 after the first. It was 5-3 after the first. So there's been some games where these games have gone very high scoring between these two teams. And Minnesota has scored at least 3 against Carolina in the last 14 straight home games. They've scored at least 3 against Carolina. So hopefully the Wild's offense can come out here. Overall, 10-3-2 in the last 15 at home against Carolina, and not including 2 ties as well, because there used to be ties in the NHL. But I like the Wild here. Probably my last time betting on them for a while, hoping they get the job done for me tonight. Will, Hurricanes, Wild, what do you think here?
So I have both these teams rated as top half of the league defenses, and both these teams rated as bottom half of the league offenses. And what that means is the last 10 games, my projected output for this game is 3.5 goals, which is extraordinarily low. I don't trust it, but I am taking the under in this game. And I lean towards Carolina, but I'm stopping at minus 120. I think minus 125 is a little bit steep. And Minnesota has played a lot better in the last 10 games. So you need to take that into account. And I don't think I would take minus 125 for Carolina today.
All right. Dave, Hurricanes and Wild. We all know you're being forced at gunpoint to bet this game. But what do you think here?
Well, I'm going to say we did have a little celebration last night, but I will say again, happy birthday, Terry. You're of legal drinking age finally. Go have a beer. Actually, in Canada, it's 19, isn't it? It's not 21. So,
yeah,
anyway.
It's 19.
But Your birthday present is me not saying anything bad about the Wild. So my play on this game is half a unit on the Wild. The end.
Thank you, Dave. Great present for me. Thank you. Ryan, Hurricanes and Wild. What do you think here?
Well, happy birthday, Terry. I think the goalie here is going to be important. So we may see Pyotr Kochetkov for Carolina. And even though he's done fairly well in his couple of games he's played, I think that could like push me over the edge to betting the Wild on this one. One for props, I saw that Sam Steele was practicing with the top line, so he may be worth a prop where that's mispriced.
Yeah, the Dean Evason's shaking up the lineup, and Sam Steele moving to the top. But I'd rather have anybody than Freddie Gaudreau because he's not a top line player. But that'll be I could go on for about an hour talking about that. So Wild for the Cup. Wow, Tim. Wow, thanks, Tim. I've never thought I'd see those words, but. We'll move on along. Tampa Bay and the Nashville Predators. In this one here, you can get Tampa Bay anywhere from minus 120 to minus 133. Nashville, plus 105 to plus 110. Sixes, I see a couple 6.5s, or 1 6.5 available as well in this one. And I'm taking the Lightning. I took the Lightning yesterday, minus 125. They've won 5 of their last 6 meetings in Nashville. Obviously, they were division rivals in the 2020-2021 season where we had the realignment. So they've faced the Predators a bunch of games in that season. But overall, they've had success in Nashville. Both teams have won 3 in a row. Obviously, someone's going to win 4 in a row. Someone's going to lose here. But the Lightning's offense has started to pick up. And that's why I'm taking them in this one. I think their offense gets the job done in this one against the Predators. Will, Lightning and Predators, what do you think here?
Yeah, I have a lean on the Lightning today. So I'm taking them at, I think it was minus 120. I just don't buy into what the Predators are doing. I think they beat up on a tired Islanders team who had, made a few comebacks the last few games, and they almost made a comeback against the Predators too. So I'm on the Lightning today. It's about a 4% edge. I have the line at minus 145. Projected goals 6.03. So I don't see any value with the over/under. My only play would be Lightning money line.
All right, Dave.
Vaseline's in net.
Unconfirmed.
Saros is in net.
Unconfirmed.
Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. I didn't realize this would be my total if I didn't already have a better total, which we're going to talk about. But I like the over 6. The Lightning are giving up way more goals than people expect. Go look at the past 10 games. So are the Predators. These are 2 top-tier goalies that are giving up more than expected. I think there's value based on the eye test and my limited knowledge. If I'm getting a 6, I like it. Oh, by the way, Predators, hashtag me too.
All right. Swear to God, LOL. Tim and Will, you'll be interested to know. I see that Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen looks like he's going to make his season debut for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. So that's kind of interesting.
What?
Ryan, Lightning and Predators?
Yeah, I lean Lightning here. I agree with Will. I'm not impressed with what Nashville is doing. I'm not buying into their recent success, really. I thought the Lightning played well against the Flames the other night. There's a lot of moving parts here. So let me see. The Lightning defense have some injuries going on. So it may be worth a look on the Lightning team total in case, depending on what their personnel situation is like. Cal Foote is on IR. Nick Herbix missed Friday's game. But Zach Bogosian may be back for this game. So a lot of moving parts for the Lightning, and maybe a team total on the Lightning may be worth a look. I had been backing Tampa Bay team overs because they've been involved in a lot of high-scoring games, and then there was a 0-0 start to that Flames game, so I'm kind of off the overs on Lightning games, but I think there could be goals in this one.
All right. Yes, ISX much better value on the puck line. but you need them to win by 2, which doesn't always happen. We'll move on to one of my favorite games of the night. We have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers in this one. You can get Vegas minus 108 to minus 125. Edmonton minus 105 to plus 105. 6.5s right across the board in this one here. Do I have any stats on this one? Edmonton 2-5 in their last 7 games. They've lost their last 3 home games. Edmonton struggling at home so far this year. Now they get the Golden Knights coming in. I don't think this is a good spot for Edmonton. I don't think this is a good opponent for them to face here. I would have loved to have Jack Campbell in net. Unfortunately, it will be Stuart Skinner in net. So that's a little bit of a bummer, I guess, because I'm on Vegas. I like Vegas to win this game. I think it's a good price for them on the road here in Edmonton. Vegas is 8-1 on the road this year. So they've had no issues winning on the road. Edmonton struggling at home. I'm getting a great price on Vegas, so I took Vegas money line, which I got for minus 106 yesterday. Will, Golden Knights and Oilers, what do you think here?
I'm on the Golden Knights money line. I grabbed it plus even money yesterday. It's obviously minus 110, minus 115 right now. I would still take it there. I have fair value at about minus 150. And the main thing here is that the Oilers have 2 good players, and the players that play with those 2 good players create goals. And the other players who come out and play for the rest of the game allow goals. And McDavid and Draisaitl don't make up for the other parts of their team that just aren't good. And a team like Vegas is going to come in tonight and beat them up. I believe we saw St. Louis do it. I believe we saw New Jersey do it. I think there were a couple other teams that did it this year in Edmonton. So I'm on Vegas money line tonight. I just don't think Edmonton's that good.
Yeah, if you took McDavid and Draisaitl out of that lineup, oh boy, we'd have the Oilers of 2015 when they're at the bottom of the league.
6 players have a positive expected goals for on the team, and they all play with those 2.
There you go. Dave, Golden Knights and Oilers. We know that Golden Knights are becoming your favorite team. Do you like them here tonight?
So I was just going to say that. So here's the deal. So I will have a favorite team by the end of the season. The problem is if I pick the Golden Knights, a couple things happen. One is they'll be jinxed just like they were the first year they came to the league. 2 is people are saying, oh, you probably like the Yankees and the Lakers and all the good teams. Well, here's the deal. I'll tell you why I like the Knights and why the Knights are the best team. Golden Knights are the best team right now in the NHL. They play like the Steelers play, like the Ravens play. They play aggressive. They don't do these little chintzy set plays. They do have them, but they just go and they shoot the ball and they play hard. That's the type of sports team that I like, and so that's why I like them. But here's the deal. Edmonton's still good. They have the best player in hockey, even though he is one guy. I'm off this game. I was trying to see what statistically these teams do against each other. Even though the Knights have been trending to the over, these 2 teams trend to the under. This will be a fun game. There's too much other sports for me to watch this, but if this game was on a slower night, it'd be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch. No bet.
For sure. AJ said McDavid had 1 shot. If McDavid's only getting 1 shot in goal, they're in trouble.
Well,
you need him to show up.
The Kings were the other team. It was 2 nights ago. The Kings shut him down. They played trap defense all night, and they didn't allow McDavid and Draisaitl to get near the net. And when you don't do that, Edmonton can't score goals.
Exactly. Ryan, Golden Knights and Oilers. What do you think here?
No play for me, although I agree with the sentiment. It's hard to back the Oilers in their current form. I saw that Matthias Janmark may be on the top line. That looks like they're trying to shake up lines at Edmonton as well.
All right. We'll move on along to the next one before we get to goalie poll segment, and then we'll get to the best bet.
Kane is a big injury.
Losing Evander Kane. That's depth that they don't have anymore. For sure, I agree. LA Kings and Seattle Kraken. You can get LA plus 105 to plus 120. Seattle minus 125 to minus 140. Sixes, I see 1.5 available as well. Yes, I had the LA Kings last night. That was a mistake. And I'm fading the LA Kings tonight. But I'm not fading the LA Kings because of what they did yesterday. There's proof that I was already going to be on the Kraken before the game even started. Just fading. Kings playing third game in 4 nights. Heading to Seattle here. Seattle played on the 17th, but had 2 days off before that. So they're much more rested here at home, waiting for this Kings team, who did not play well last night. I don't see them rebounding here on the second night of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. I like the Kraken here. At this price, I would go with Kraken in regulation, which you could get for plus something. And that's most likely what I'll be going to, what I'll be betting after the show. Because I have not locked Kraken money line in yet. Minus 125, I'd play it at that price, but anything past minus 130, I'd go within regulation for the Kraken. Will, Kings, and Kraken, what do you think here?
Yeah, I have this number about perfect. I have 129 minus 129 is fair value, so I wouldn't really take either side. But if I'm going to put some capping glasses on, the Kraken should win this game, and I would probably side with the minus 125 out there. But I do wonder if I haven't looked if you could get a better price for their over 2.5 team total. I wonder if that's better than minus 125, because if it is, I would rather take that against the Kings tonight.
I'm seeing 3.5 at plus 116 or plus 126. So 2.5 likely won't be
minus 150 or minus 160. Yeah, probably I would take money line if anything.
All right. Cowboy Dave, what do you think here?
There's Cool Dave and there's Cowboy Dave. This barely even fits me because I got a big ass head. But I like to take the Kings because of my stupid little gifts that I put in the DMs. And I had the Kings too. I thought it was a good spot, but they got beat by the Orcas yesterday. And apparently Terry thinks that the Kraken have some like good shot to win the Stanley Cup based upon some conversations we had last night. Yeah, the eyes wide, Ryan. He actually had a really good explanation for it, having value on betting a future to bet. And we had just some random discussions, but no play in this game. Actually, no interest in this game. And yeah, the Kings are dead to me for right now. So.
All right. Yes, a little bit in context to that. So we were discussing on Dave's show who we think will win the Stanley Cup. Everyone was saying Vegas, or Dallas. And I said it will not be any of the teams that are currently leading their division. So that includes Boston, New Jersey, Vegas, or Dallas. And I said that Kraken will win the Stanley Cup before Vegas does. That's my main thoughts. I think the Kraken went about the expansion much better long term than Vegas did. But will the Kraken win the Cup this year? Probably not, but I could see if this team trades for a goaltender, I could see them being scary long term in the playoffs. Ryan, Kings and Kraken, what do you think here?
Yeah, speaking of goaltenders, it looks like Grubauer may be back for this game, so that could be a lift for the Kraken. You never know how he's going to do in his first game back. This was a 4-1 game, a Kraken's win, maybe the second game of the season. So I think I could see a similar scoreline again tonight. I could see the Kraken winning in an under in this game.
All right. I wasn't aware that he was coming back. Kraken, I'm here to steal your coins tonight.
Please.
That's people betting on LA. Cowboy Dave. Sabres are winning the Cup. Just wait until we start winning games again. Yeah, when will that happen?
Hope they go to the playoffs.
That right now. Goalie poll segment. We have the rest of the games on the slate. Philadelphia, Montreal would be a lean with Montreal. I'm not taking Philadelphia anymore. Did not pull the trigger. Buffalo, Toronto. I cannot back Toronto at this price, but I am not backing Buffalo right now. They're doing what they usually do, start the season off great, and then fall right off a cliff randomly. So I can't get involved. UPL and net. he hasn't done that well in the AHL, but he's had success when he's played in the NHL. So I'll have to see how he does against Toronto. Ultimately, a pass. Chicago, Boston. I said on Dave's show yesterday, I've been backing Boston by 2 all the time. Obviously, you can't really back them by 2 in this price. I think it's like minus 150 for the puck line. So you'd have to go the next step at minus 2.5. But I have this feeling. I have this bad feeling. Well, not bad for me, but I have this bad feeling for Boston fans that Chicago might upset this game. Just my feeling. Probably wrong, but that's just what my gut's telling me. Chicago could be a live dog in this game. Colorado, Washington. If I was playing anything, it would be Colorado, but I do not like the price for them. Actually, now they're minus 115. Okay, so what's changed? Something has changed recently. They're minus 115. So I'll have to see what's going on there because obviously something's going on. But if Colorado minus 115, that's very, very appealing. Anaheim, St. Louis, pass. Blues playing better. Ducks are the Ducks, but not getting involved. Islanders, Dallas, or Islanders and Stars. Most likely I'll be backing the Stars in some fashion. Haven't got involved yet. That'll be something I'll look at later tonight. And then Rangers and Sharks, final game of the night. Ultimately a pass. I think Rangers want revenge for what happened to them at home against the Sharks, but wanting revenge, getting revenge, 2 different things. We'll have to see what happens here, but it would be a lean with the Rangers in some fashion here. Will, goalie poll, the rest of the games. What do you think? Or actually, Ryan, do you have to go yet? Are you good?
Sure. I can give my picks out from these games here.
Yeah, if you have to go, give out your picks here, and then we'll go to Will.
Yeah, 2 that jump out to me are Colorado. I agree with you, Terry. I just think this is a Colorado spot. They're playing well. This is the Stanley Cup champions in good form. The Caps may be getting a lift here. The recent news is that basically all their injured guys are skating again. So like Wilson and Backstrom are back on the ice again. So they may get a lift. But I think it may be a while before they get back up to form. So I'm back in Colorado here. I also basically fading Anaheim. The way that they lost to Winnipeg the other night, basically giving up a last-second goal in regulation, I just think that you need to back and the way that St. Louis is playing. And the question is, do you play St. Louis on the puck line, on the money line, or the team total? I picked team total for St. Louis. So I'm on the Blues, and hopefully their mothers are still traveling with the team because that seems like their mojo.
That seems to happen to a lot of teams when their moms come on the mom's trip for some reason. Well, I guess that's a good reason.
Explain this mom's trip thing.
That's just that. They basically invite their mothers. They have a father's trip too. Some teams have father's trips, and they just invite their mothers.
Is that a New York or an NHL thing?
Yes. And they'll have like a 3-game road swing, and they'll invite their mothers on the trip. And the Blues
doesn't have that.
I'm sorry?
It's a good thing the NFL doesn't have that, or else anyone traveling with the Jets, any hot moms, anyone else traveling with the Jets would get plowed by Gritty.
Yeah, I'm sure Zach Wilson would love to have a mom's trip in the NFL. Will, goalie poll, what do you think?
Yeah, so Philadelphia Flyers, Canadians first. I have that game pretty much perfect. I wouldn't play anything. It's kind of like the Detroit Columbus game. There's so many games today. You don't really need to play everything. Buffalo, Toronto. I'm on the Sabres money line. I think we're in a perfect spot here where the Maple Leafs are overvalued, even though they aren't winning, and the Sabres are undervalued because they aren't winning. So I'm going to do a little sprinkle on the Sabres money line. Chicago, Boston, pretty much all I have to say is I have the fair line at plus 477 for Chicago. So I'm good. Colorado, Washington, I agree with the sentiment. Colorado, Avs money line is the play for me. I'd like to wait to see if Washington gets some of these players back, because maybe we'll get Avs at an underdog later today with Washington at home. It'd be crazy, but who knows? Who knows who's playing? Anaheim, St. Louis, slight edge on the Ducks, but I don't like the play after what happened in Winnipeg the other night. I agree with Ryan there. It was a tough loss with 50 seconds left with a guy getting a hat trick, losing 3-2. The Islanders Stars, I have that line is about perfect, no edge there, but I will be playing the tie overtime. It's my only play for a tie today. I have the game about 0.3 goal difference. And then Rangers Sharks, I have no edge tonight.
All right. I didn't give out my parlay, so I will do that now. It is a 3-team parlay. Devils money line, Florida Panthers money line, and Seattle Kraken money line. 3-teamer plus 415 for the Devils, Panthers, and Kraken all to win. Plus 415. Dave, goalie poll segment. Any of these games stand out to you? Do they?
Yeah, the best bet in the NHL. It's been the best bet for a while. The Stars team total over. They've scored 42 or 43 goals. I can't remember. I was looking it up, but I got busy doing something else, distracted on my phone. What was that? 41?
Number one offense in the league.
Yep, there we go. They're also might be a contender for my favorite team because they score a lot. And people seem to not like them. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, they're averaging over 4 goals a game the past 10 games. Every time I bet on them, they win team total. And I'm getting plus money at 3.5 goals, plus 115. Hell yeah. That's my total. That's my best bet in the NHL. The other one is, and I'm not going to shake this, I've already bet a half a unit on it. Blackhawks cock. That's my dog. If Terry has an inkling about it, and he's the guru, that's my dog.
Don't bet Chicago because I said about my gut feeling. Please, don't because I could be very wrong. I don't want to fade Boston.
Wait for 400. It's coming.
Well, I might bet it again, half unit. I mean, I already did it. I mean, I put it in this morning, but I do it whenever the Hawks are going to be against. I should do this with the Coyotes too, but at the beginning of the season, I said I'd do 2 things, or I said one thing and Terry forced me to do another. But the one that I chose to do was when the Blackhawks are facing someone that's minus 300 favorite, they don't have to be plus 300. It can be plus 2, whatever. That's when we're going for it. And I've already hit one. If it goes over 400, I'll just do it. I'll have a fucking full unit on it, and it'll be, I'll win it somewhere else. I mean, it's probably a loss, but if it hits,
you'll be happy.
400 shouldn't exist in hockey.
So. Yeah.
All right. We will move on to the best bet segment. Tune into tomorrow's show, which is going to be in 10 minutes. So pretty much right after we're done this one, the hockey show will be on, and we will go over, the football show, heavily focused on tomorrow's NFL, will be on in about 10 minutes. We'll start with over-under today, as we usually do. And for me, Detroit, Columbus, over 6.5. Nick is going to college football, USC, UCLA, under 76.5.
Why?
Tim?
There's going to be fireworks in that game, boy. But anyways, go ahead.
Tim is taking SFA, whoever that is, and South Dakota State, over 147.
Stephen F. Austin University.
Perfect. Ryan is taking St. Louis Blues, team total over 3.5, minus 125. IceX is taking Carolina and Minnesota over 6.5. And Dave, you said you're going with Dallas Stars, team total over
plus 115.
Plus 115. All right. Going on to dog of the day. For me,
did Will go?
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, Will.
Totally I skipped it out. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Could I throw in Devils over 3.5 team total here in a few minutes at minus 110?
Sure, over 3.5, minus 110. Right. I'll fix that after.
Stars would be my backup, though.
Stars team total?
Would be my, backup for people watching.
All right. Dog of the day. Yes, I'm going to do it because I'm not on any other dogs, and the only dog that I'm going to be betting today is the Minnesota Wild. So why not? One more time, Minnesota Wild as my dog of the day. Nick is going with the Oklahoma State Cowboys in college football, plus 230. Tim is taking Idaho, plus 150 in college basketball. Ryan is taking Seattle, plus 135 in college basketball. IceX is taking the Winnipeg Jets. Dave, I know yours, Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep.
Plus 500 million. I'll get the odds for that after the show.
Funny.
What do you think? Do you have a dog today?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Winnipeg Jets money line. I don't know if we talked about them today, but I really like them
Did
today.
I skip them?
I don't know. I have about a 9% edge. It's one of my 3 plays.
Oh yeah, I totally skipped that game somehow.
Plus 105.
They're plus 105
at home against the Penguins.
against the Penguins. Yes, I completely somehow missed that game.
Don't really understand
apologize
the
to
number.
viewers.
No,
I have nothing in that game. Pittsburgh's had success in Winnipeg, but yeah, Winnipeg's playing well defensive hockey, and the Penguins team I've been getting wrong lately. So ultimately, a pass for me. We will go on to best bets, and I'm going to do it. And best bets hasn't been going well so far for me. So I'm going to go with the big balls plus 170 play. Take a shot here. Florida, Matthew Tkachuk over 1.5 points against his former team, plus 170. Nick is taking, I'm guessing Georgia State and JMU, James Madison over 51.5. Tim is taking Detroit Mercy. That's an interesting name. Detroit Mercy plus 12 in college basketball. Ryan is going with the Avalanche money line, minus 115. IceX is taking Florida minus 1.5, plus 190. Dave, what do you think here for best bet?
What did I have as my best bet's USC money line.
USC money line.
College football. Plus 120. It's probably minus 120. Might even be like minus 115 now, but it's around minus 120.
Okay. I'll look after the show.
Yeah.
Will, what do you think here for best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Golden Knights money line, but I'm looking right now. The best I could find is minus 112 at Canby. So really hurry or wait and hope that it goes back because looks like they're the favorites now.
All right. And that is the show for today's games. Look at the comments here. IceX says Blackhawks are losing, and they very well may lose. They should lose at the price they are.
Whoa!
But upsets happen. Well, what?
The Devils just moved to minus 125.
Uh-oh. Somebody's out. Stephen F. Austin is what Tim is saying. Yep. Maybe Sabres dog. So AJ's would put maybe Sabres as his dog of the day. And Tim Earl says, wait, Dave likes USC. Shocking. Hey, I'm on the Minnesota Wild as my dog of the day. Who would have guessed that? Okay.
Let's set the record straight. I've said a million times, not on this show, because the show isn't about me, but right now it is. So I'll talk. I bet against my teams. B, I haven't bet USC for years and years because they don't cover. My teams don't cover. The Niners don't cover. SC doesn't cover. The Lakers don't cover. They don't cover. This year they're covering. This year they're national contender. They're going against their rival today, a crosstown rival, and it's a situation they're playing as the visiting team, and they're going to have home field advantage. So I don't know what other best bet I could have, but yeah, it's my team. F off.
All right. And that's how we will end today's show. The show for tomorrow will start in approximately 5 minutes. So get ready. Best of luck to everybody on your bets tonight. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We appreciate all the support. Best of luck on your bets tonight. Have a good one, guys.